welcome to my channel, and here is a kids vlog. You have learned that the different systems which make up our bodies in your previous classes. Do you remember those organ systems? I already told you that the digestive systems helps to digest the food we eat. The excretory system helps to get rid of the waste. The circulatory system helps to supply the deoxygenated blood and the oxygenated blood, and the respiratory system helps us to breathe in and breathe out air. So now I'm gonna explain you the chapter called the skeleton system. So what is the skeleton system? This system has no organs. It is made up of bones. It gives shape to our body and helps movements. and we will also learn in this chapter how does the muscles and bones helps in movements. Okay, so what is skeleton? Now we are going to learn about the skeleton. So what is skeleton? The skeleton, all the bones in our body make a framework called the skeleton. So this is the skeleton. The major bones of the skeleton is the skull, the rib cage, the ribs in the rib cage, the backbone, and the limbs. The two upper limb and the lower limb, arm, leg. So in babies there are 300 bones in their skeleton, and in adults there are 206 bones. This is because that when we grow from babies to adults, the bones slowly join together so that we would grow in height, and the bones would be longer. So what work does the skeleton do? Number 1, it gives shape to our body. Number 2, it helps us in movements. Number 3, it protects the sensitive organs, that means flexible organs, from collapsing. So like the lungs, heart, brain. The skull protects the brain, the sensitive brain, from collapsing, and the rib cage helps to protect the lungs and heart. So we will learn this in the major bones of the skeleton. Now, the major bones, as I told you, the major bones are the skull, rib cage, the backbone, and limbs. So first we will learn about the skull. So tap your head gently. You will feel something hard structure, a bony box. So that is only called the skull. So the skull has 22 flat bones joining, so that it would protect our sensitive brain. So this is our skull. There are some spaces for our senses to stay, like the nose. Here is our nose, eyes, and ears, and mouth. So tap your chin gently. You will also feel that. So the jaw, the part which are bearing the teeth are called jaws. The lower jaw, we could move only our lower jaw. That would help us to eat or speak. So our lower jaw can move, but our upper jaw cannot move because our skull is fixed. It has immovable joints. We will learn this in the joints. Next, the rib cage. This is the most interesting part in this chapter. So the rib cage, it protects our lung and our heart. So there are 12 pairs that makes 24 flat, thin, and curved bones. So this is the rib cage. Now let me tell the parts of that rib cage. These whole is called the ribs. So the first seven are called true ribs because they join the backbone without any help. They do not take the help. The other 3 bones take the help of the lower true ribs. So that is why they are called false ribs. And the other 2, the lower 2, which are called floating ribs, do not connect to any organ or any bone, or do not take any help to join the bone. So we learned the ribcage. Next is the backbone. The backbone is also called the spine. The backbone has 33 small bones. There are holes and those are called vertebrae. If single bone, we will call it vertebra. V-E-R-T-E-B-R-A. And if plural, we will add E to the vertebra. Okay, vertebra. So through those, there are some holes between. There are few holes through the vertebra, through which the spinal cord will pass through. Spinal cord means it is a nerve which passes through those vertebra. Now, the backbone protects us from collapsing. It helps us to stand upright, straight. Next is the limbs. Now I'm going to tell you the upper limb, arm. It is also called as arm. So the upper limb is divided into 3 parts. They are, this one is the arm, forearm, and this is the hand. The hand is also divided into 3 parts. They are wrist, palm, and fingers. So the arm is made up of one bone, and that bone is called humerus. The forearm comes joined to the humerus from the elbow till the wrist, and the humerus joined from the elbow from the shoulder blade to the elbow. Now hand, the 3 parts, it comes from our wrist only. Wrist. There are no ending to our fingers. So, and the lower limb is also called as leg. The leg means lower limb is also divided into 3 parts. They are, this is the thigh, this is the leg, and this part is the foot. The foot has 3 parts only. They are the heel, and the toes. The thigh is made up of one bone also, and that is called the thigh bone or the femur. It is the heaviest, strongest, and longest bone in the whole body. It is the strongest bone. It is thigh bone or the femur. And the leg is divided into 2 parts. They are the shin bone. The thin one is called shin bone. The fat one is called the calf bone. So here, this is our foot. The foot has toes and there are joints inside. I will attach here those joints in the joint zone. So now I'm going to tell you the joints. This is more interesting. So there are many kinds of joints in our skeleton. The bones, where the bones meet, or more than 1-2 bones meet, those are called joints. There are some nerves or some tissues called ligament which helps us to bend. The joints help us to bend. Our skeleton is very hard, but the joints help us to bend, twist. So now the first joint is hinge joint. What is the hinge joint? Move your hand and your leg. It is only possible for 2 directions. You can't move more than 2 directions because the hinge joint is there in your elbow. The hinge joint is like a door. Open and close. Open and close. Even in your knee also. Knee. It's in your knees, toes and fingers. It's in your toes, fingers, in your elbow and in your knee. So can you see something round here? Round. So this is the one which protects the knee, is called kneecap. This is the kneecap which protects the knee. So here I you will see something half line. So there are the joints. So hinge joint is in our knee, elbow, fingers and toes. Next, the gliding joint. The gliding joint means slipping. So our gliding joint is in our wrist and our ankles, so that we could slip or we could glide. See, and even it's in your ankle. Okay. So now next the pivot joint. So the pivot joint. The pivot joint is between the skull and the topmost vertebra. And the vertebra topmost, there is the pivot joint. It's like a peg structure. So it helps us to move our head in sideways, upwards, downwards. So it helps. Now I'm gonna tell you the ball and socket joint. So I'll give you an example where the ball and the socket joint is there. So here you see something round, that is called the ball, and the hollow space is called the socket. The ball will go into that socket space, and so that we could drill. So we could drill our hand. So the socket joint is there in our shoulders, and near our hips. Next, immovable joints and the movable joints of the skull. So in the skull, the only movable joint is our jaw, and the immovable joints means we only joint but it cannot move is here. The 8 bones on our brain are joined, so that is called immovable joints. So it cannot move. Just it's joined like this. It's fixed so that the brain would not fall. Learn about the muscles. So muscles are soft elastic bands in our body. Together with the bones, they help us to move. It helps in movements. So to create a movement, they contract and expand. For example, when we bend our elbow, our muscles contract like this. And if we eat mostly calcium, for keeping our bones and muscles healthy, we need more calcium and vitamin D. So the tissues in the muscles will increase if we eat more calcium, the minerals like calcium, like food like milk and its products like cheese, butter, paneer, etc. So these food items are important to keep our bones and muscles healthy. Vitamin D is needed for healthy bones, and calcium is needed for strong bones and muscles. Next, posture. Now I'm gonna tell you the posture and how should we should be in a correct posture. So we should sit in a correct posture. Sit straight, not like this. We should not bend our. We should be straight, not like this. And we should stand straight, not like this. Now we should stand upright, breathing straight, and we should sleep on our back. We should sleep on our back or sideways, but we should not sleep on our stomach. We should not sleep like that. Now yoga. So yoga is an Asian form and it is developed by India. So the simplest yoga is pranayam in Padmasana or lotus pose. So now I'll tell you the simplest form of pranayam. First you have to fold your legs in cross and put your fingers in this. And pranayam means the control of breath. First we should inhale slowly. Take a deep breath. All the breath as much as you can do it comfortably, and then leave the breath slowly. So you should do this in a quiet place like in the park or the garden or in the house, in a silent quiet room, and wear loose clothing, cotton clothing. You can sip water for half an hour before half an hour doing pranayam. So the chapter is finished and I taught everything what you want. And if you like my video and enjoy learning this interesting chapter, the skeleton system and yoga, then don't forget to subscribe my channel RK Rising Kids Vlog. To get more videos, click the bell icon. Goodbye.